Islam. Everyone's talking about it. With a global community stretching from China to Timbuktu to California and everywhere in between, this religion is the way of life of a quarter of humanity. But what is Islam? What do Muslims believe? Well, let's find out. With about 1.8 billion followers, or 24% of Earth's population, Islam is the second largest religion on the planet and therefore the universe. Muslims make up the majority of the population in 49 countries, as diverse as Yemen, Nigeria, Albania, Kazakhstan and Malaysia. This 1,400-year-old religion started in modern-day Saudi Arabia, but today only 20% of Muslims are Arabs. Indonesia is actually the country with the most Muslims, holding around 13% of the world's total. About 30% of Muslims live in India, Pakistan and Bangladesh. Islam is named after an action. Islam means submission to God, and Muslim is the person that submits to God. The root meaning of the word Islam means peace, safety and security. The Arabic word for peace, salam, comes from this root along with the Hebrew word shalom. So, submission to God means finding peace by following God. Around the world, regardless of language, most Muslims greet each other in Arabic saying Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you. Islam originated in 7th century Arabia with a guy called Muhammad. Before we can get into Muhammad's life, we need to talk about the elephant in the room. His name is Sebastian and he is standing in front of my whiteboard explaining the controversy surrounding drawing Muhammad. Sebastian, can you just scoot over there? Can you just please move? Okay, drawing Muhammad is a controversial and emotional political issue. Firstly, the Quran, Islam's holy book from the Torah, and some Muslims and Jews take this rule very seriously. Islam kept this rule going so that Muslims wouldn't worship in front of images of Muhammad or God. Instead, they pray directly to God, the largest branch of Islam. And the majority of Muslims disagree with violence in response to depictions of Muhammad. To be respectful, as we always try to be, Muhammad was born in 570 CE in Mecca in Arabia. His parents died when he was very young and Muhammad grew up as an orphan. Back then the Arabs worshipped hundreds of different gods, and Muhammad's tribe, the Quraysh, were the guardians of this building, the Kaaba in Mecca. They packed the Kaaba with hundreds of idols to different gods, and the Quraysh got filthy rich taxing pilgrims visiting the Kaaba. Muhammad was deeply religious and wanted to improve his community. All around him he saw poverty, injustice, war and widespread discrimination against women and orphans. Muhammad saw the rich abuse the poor, and religious festivals had just become giant, decadent parties dedicated to the worship of idols. This is the best religion ever! Woo! Woohoo, religion party! Instead of attending religious festivals every year, Muhammad would just go and pray alone in a cave. Then, in 610 CE, in the month of Ramadan, during one of these lonely cave prayers, Muhammad, now 40 years old, was visited by Gabriel, or Jibril in Arabic. Jibril told Muhammad that there was one God, and that he was now God's messenger. Muhammad received revelations directly from God and then recited them aloud. His companions wrote these revelations down, and they became the Quran, Islam's holy book.